Welcome back. Last time, our protagonist set fire to an innocent man. Ouch! Let's jump right in. The red-haired man uses his skill and blows fire on the innocent and normal man with whom he fought. Enter our protagonist, Jinchik, who is infuriated by the red-haired man's blatant disregard for others. Jinchik confronts him, reminding him that using such powers to harm ordinary people is unacceptable. However, the red-haired man confidently boasts about his protection under the International Hunter Protection Treaty, claiming he can do as he pleases without consequences. This response only serves to further rile up Jinchik, who refuses to let him off the hook without a proper reprimand. In an epic moment, Jinchik forcefully grabs the red-haired man's arm, inflicting a significant injury. The official present questions if Jinchuk used a curse skill he did during his previous fight with Shelton. Jinchuk confirms this, adding that he also possesses a healing skill, ensuring that any burns inflicted will quickly mend. The red-haired man is left astonished by this revelation, but his anger only intensifies. Jinchuk advises him to calm down, reminding him that he's still new to the awakened world and shouldn't flaunt his strength among dangerous individuals. If he persists, Jinchuk warns that he might face embarrassment or even expulsion for causing unnecessary trouble. Jinchuk's words have a powerful effect, freeing the innocent man from the clutches of the arrogant awakener. Jinchuk checks on the guy, assuring him that his injuries will soon heal. A notification pops up on Jinchuk's system displaying 10 thumbs up, an expression of sincere gratitude from the staff members, acknowledging his kindness. Curious about the man he just fought, Jinchuk inquires about his identity. He discovers that the man was awakened by someone named Yeom Radu from the Society of Flame, a name that rings a bell for Jinchuk. As a support hunter, Jinchuk had encountered numerous newbies afflicted with the hunter disease, and Yeom's surname strikes a chord of familiarity. Just as the conversation unfolds, the coordinator announces the arrival of the examiner, demanding everyone to line up. Yoon Rumi enters the scene, introducing herself to the hunter's examiners. She reveals that she belongs to the Politics and Military Division, specializing in dealing with fellow awakeners through means like killing or torturing. Jinchuk ponders the implications of her division's involvement, realizing that it's not part of the president's personal military force. Yoon Rumi candidly admits that her name and appearance are fake, urging the examiners not to dwell on it since it's not an exceptional case. However, she adds that due to the presence of 2 rookies in the test, possibly Jincheok and Yeom Radu, higher-ups are keenly interested. Yoon Rumi presents a memorandum stating that the government will not be held responsible if any of them perish during the test, given the prevalence of hunters with inflated egos. Signing the contract signifies a transition from being ordinary citizens to soldiers with newfound freedom to pursue their desires. Despite the ominous warning, Jinchuk boldly signs, setting the example for the rest. Moving on, Yoon Rumi outlines the rules of the exam. The examiners will enter a dungeon, engage in hunting, and be evaluated accordingly. Unless they possess their own recording devices, everything they do will be recorded, rendering social media useless in their communication. She emphasizes that she, as the examiner, is known for her ruthlessness, and their lives are solely their responsibility. Yoon Rumi gives one last chance for anyone to back out. The room remains silent, indicating their unwavering determination. The group proceeds to the next stage, where blindfolds are distributed. The examinees don their blindfolds, limiting their senses, and form groups of 5. Armed with weapons of their choice, they step through the dungeon gate, ready to face the unknown. Within the vast labyrinthine dungeon, small stone chambers await each group. 5 individuals are spread across different corners, with random pairings forcing unlikely alliances. The objective is to hunt down monsters and ultimately shatter the crystal ball at the dungeon's center. The tension builds as blindfolds are removed, marking the beginning of the thrilling hunter's exam. Before we continue, let's take a moment to answer the question of the day. Which Manhwa series do you think deserves more recognition and why? Comment down below for a chance to be shouted out. Now, back to the recap. As our protagonist, Jicheok Eum, embarks on his hunter's exam, he is blindfolded, his vision blocked, adding an air of mystery and suspense. But instead of joining his fellow examinees, he finds himself standing in a mesmerizing blue-lit room with a grand door beckoning him from the other side. Curiosity piqued, he pushes open the door, only to be greeted by yells of annoyance and frustration. The source of the commotion? None other than Yeom Madu, a fellow hunter notorious for his massive ego, who'd caused quite a ruckus during the exam's preparation stage. These 2 rivals loathed each other's presence. It seemed like another heated argument was about to erupt, until they were interrupted by a dynamic duo of hunters. Enter Bongjin Ah and Jin Woo, the charismatic twin hunters, injecting a burst of energy into the scene. With a dash of charm, introduced themselves to the group, before raising an intriguing question about the ongoing radio broadcast. Desperate pleas for assistance flood the airwaves as a dungeon explosion threatens to turn into an irregular nightmare. Inquisitive and quick-witted, Jin Ah asks if any of them know whether this chaos is part of the exam. Yeom Madu, ever the enigma, offers a vague response, attributing the situation to his own strength and leaving everyone puzzled. Unable to resist the urge to show off, he proudly showcases his impressive array of expensive gear by theatrically clapping his fists. Just as the tension builds, a new face enters the fray. Yeom Madu's distant cousin. Jicheok seizes the opportunity to introduce himself to the lively twins, but is interrupted when he overhears Yeom Madu and his cousin planning to venture off on their own. Concerned for their safety, Jicheok, along with the twins, tries to dissuade them from such recklessness. Yet Yeom Madu, fueled by his enormous ego, pays no heed to their warnings, pushing forward regardless of the potential consequences. The adrenaline continues to rise as Yeom Madu's cousin approaches the next door, only to be met with a chilling gust of wind and an ominous presence lurking on the other side. A massive, red, scaly arm reaches out, threatening to snatch the cousin away. In a moment of heroism, Yeom Madu leaps into action, saving his relative from the clutches of danger. The door swings open, revealing a formidable adversary, a lizard man. Even seasoned hunters struggle with these fierce creatures as their speed and strength surpass those of ordinary goblins. And to make matters worse, their heightened senses make them even deadlier in cave environments. Doubt begins to cloud Jicheok's mind. Why would the government unleash such a formidable monster on beginner hunters, yet to complete their exams? Skepticism looms as he contemplates the unfolding situation. Meanwhile, Yeom Madu and his cousin, driven by arrogance, belittle the monster and ignite the battle by summoning flames around their fists. Jicheok, ever the astute observer, discerns the type of skill they're employing, an area of effect flame attack, an odd choice considering their confined surroundings. Determined not to be outshined, Jicheok unsheathes his twin blades, deftly activating multiple skills at once, preparing for his next move. Little does he know that outside the dungeon, CEO Jihan Jeong monitors the escalating growth of the dungeon with mounting concern. The gate is sealed, rendering access from the outside impossible, leaving the examinees with only two options: flee and wait for the growth to subside or destroy the dungeon's core to survive. This phenomenon, known as dungeon growth, occurs as hunters level up, replacing existing monsters with stronger adversaries and transforming the terrain into a complex labyrinth, promising greater rewards. Jeong Jihan, the sole bearer of this knowledge, anxiously ponders the implications of Jicheok's involvement. Could he be a harbinger of change, capable of shaping the future? The rapid expansion of the dungeon serves as proof of this ominous possibility. Jeong Jihan faces a pivotal decision: watch from the sidelines until the end, or dive back into the fray. Unyielding in his quest for the perfect answer, he remains resolute, refusing to be swept away by the tides of progress. Back inside the dungeon, Jicheok valiantly defends against the fiery onslaught unleashed by Yeom Madu. He finds his rival's disregard for their surroundings both repulsive and reckless. Just when the tension reaches its peak, a window pops up on GodTube, revealing a quest for our intrepid hunter. The mission is clear: defeat the lizard men and escape the ever-growing dungeon. Success promises 100 thumbs up, an enticing bonus, and an intermediate skill exchange ticket. This newfound revelation shocks Jicheok, realizing that what was thought to be a mere test dungeon is, in fact, an intermediate challenge, exponentially increasing the danger for all examinees. In a fiery spectacle, the fearsome lizard man, adorned in deep red scales, braved scorching blows of intense heat. But it was Yeom Madu, a skilled warrior, who unleashed a relentless barrage of flame attacks, targeting the monster's vulnerable spots and sealing its defeat. Yet, as the defeated beast fell, a horde of fresh adversaries emerged, ready to take its place. Undeterred, Yeom Madu and his cousin unleashed a flurry of blows, engaging in an arduous struggle against the ever-increasing enemy forces. On the sidelines, Jicheok and the twins observed the chaotic scene, their annoyance brewing towards Yeom Madu and his cousin's apparent disregard for teamwork. However, a moment of revelation struck Jicheok as he recognized something peculiar about these monsters. Having worked with lizardmen corpses before, he knew that their skins were typically green. This revelation led him to infer that these lizardmen were far from ordinary. Suddenly, one of the twins pointed urgently at the door, revealing Yeom Madu and his cousin's plan to escape to the next room. A grand display of arrogance, Yeom Madu offered the other examinees a chance to join him, mockingly getting down on his knees and inviting them to beg. The twins found this display repulsive, and Jicheok took the opportunity to explain the situation. He revealed that skills imbued with the power of flames were more effective against monsters than humans, hence Yomaru's cocky demeanor. Though begrudgingly convinced by this explanation, the twins still expressed their frustrations. Jicheok then proposed an alternative, suggesting that the twins join Yomaru, as their combined skill sets would increase their chances of survival. However, the twins hesitated, fearing that Yomaru would use them as shields in times of danger. Instead, they opted to team up with Jicheok, who welcomed their company despite his self-proclaimed shortcomings. To dispel any doubts about his abilities, Jicheok showcased his strength during the preparation stage, leaving the twins in awe. In return, the twins revealed their own unique skills. Jin-Ah, a formidable blacksmith, wielded a massive hammer, while Jin-Woo utilized his sewing abilities to craft traps and launch surprise attacks. With this newfound alliance, Jicheok wondered if their combination would prove effective. However, before they could dwell on it further, they noticed that Yeomadu and his cousin had already departed. Determined not to fall behind, Jicheok closely followed the duo, his keen eye examining the lizardmen's inscriptions on the dungeon walls. To their astonishment, Jicheok discovered a hidden space concealed behind a mural depicting a golden demon god. Urging Jin-Ah to use her hammer, she gathered her mana and unleashed a powerful strike, creating a massive hole in the wall, revealing a secret passage. With their new path secured, they ventured into the hidden devil's temple. Navigating the hidden passageway, they managed to divert the lizardmen's attention, allowing them to proceed without interference. However, Jin-Ah's fatigue after using her skill caught Jicheok by surprise, realizing the toll it took on her. Undeterred, the trio pressed on, marveling at the expansive secret chamber they had stumbled upon. They surmised it was a temple, possibly used by the ascetics, and hoped the murals and stone statues would provide clues to more hidden paths. Pausing momentarily, Jicheok prepared for any forthcoming challenges, casting a temporary buff on the twins to enhance their agility and attack. With their newfound power, they advanced further, skillfully evading passages teeming with lizardmen. Meanwhile, Yoomadu and his cousin, oblivious to the existence of the hidden passageway, continued their relentless push forward. After what seemed like an eternity, Jicheok's party finally reached the end of the passage, confident they had outpaced Yomaru by a considerable margin. However, their respite was brief, as the sound of approaching footsteps alerted them to the imminent clash. Stepping into a leadership role, Jicheok reminded the twins to maintain formation as they charged ahead, initiating the attack. With swift precision, Jicheok sliced through the ranks, reducing lizardmen to mere fragments with his twin blades. Jin-Woo, armed with his sharp teeth, tore apart one foe, while his sister delivered crushing blows to others. Their strategy became clear. Jicheok would weaken the lizardmen, leaving the twins to deliver the finishing blows. As they witnessed Jicheok's prowess, the twins couldn't help but wonder if he truly had never done this before. The passageway reverberated with the thuds of defeated foes hitting the ground. Jicheok and the twins wrapped up their recent battle, ready to face their next challenge. Once the lizardmen were vanquished, Jicheok and the twins turned their attention to the fallen corpses. Daggers in hand, they deftly made incisions in the monster remains. Blood splattered about as they swiftly extracted magic crystals, collecting the valuable blood and scales. But Jicheok had something up his sleeve, and the twins couldn't help but notice his mischievous grin. Opening the GodTube window, he delved into the skills section and purchased Scrooge's Visionary Alchemy at a discounted price. This amazing skill allowed him to create potions using inexpensive materials on a large scale. Excitement filled the air as Jicheok activated the Scrooge's Alchemist Survival Camp skill. In an instant, a complete alchemy set materialized, equipped with tools, 50 empty potion bottles, and 30 neutralizers. The twins couldn't believe their eyes and bombarded Jicheok with questions. He explained that he had just acquired an alchemy skill, leaving them even more bewildered. With the newly acquired monster materials, Jicheok announced they would test his alchemy skill. A purple liquid started boiling vigorously, emanating an ominous aura. A pop-up window warned that Jicheok's low level of alchemy resulted in a success rate of only 30%. Failure was inevitable, causing the materials to be destroyed. After a few failed attempts, Jicheok finally achieved success. As the cauldron erupted in fireworks, Jicheok proudly displayed his creation, a lizard man's stamina booster. Crafted from lizard man materials, this ancient stamina potion could heal physical and mental wounds, while boosting agility for 6 hours. Jicheok estimated it would sell for a substantial sum, earning them a few 100,000 won per bottle. After several more tries, they managed to produce a total of 5 bottles amidst failures and successes. From that point on, they established a routine of slaying lizardmen, extracting ingredients, and converting them into valuable items. Jicheok's popularity on GodTube soared, as indicated by the steadily increasing number of likes. After decimating another wave of lizardmen, Jicheok received a notification that he had amassed 100 likes. To his surprise, this completion triggered a bonus quest. The GodTube window then offered him the bonus reward, even before clearing the main quest. Without hesitation, he accepted and received a system update, caught him off guard. Mana surged through the God Tube window, completing the update. To Ji-Cheok's confusion, the update now allowed him to receive likes from his enemies as well. Just as he tried to process this development, a few more lizardmen charged towards him. With swift movements, Ji-Cheok sliced off their necks and limbs, all while receiving likes for the fear he instilled in his adversaries. Expressing his favorability for the new update, Ji-Cheok fought alongside the twins, relishing the additional rewards. He couldn't help but feel like he was cheating with these newfound benefits. Eventually, they triumphed over the remaining lizardmen, their energy waning from the intense battles. As exhaustion threatened to overtake them, they caught sight of something remarkable at the end of the passage. A massive door. It loomed before them, testament to their progress. Excitement filled the twins as they inquired if they were finally reaching the end of the dungeon. Ji-Cheok hesitated for a moment, unsure, but explained that typically, a boss monster awaited behind such doors. Their anticipation grew, but suddenly the door behind them swung open wide. Mocking taunts resounded from the entrance, and they originated from none other than Yeom Madu, Ji-Cheok's cousin, a group of other hunter examinees. Yeom Madu couldn't resist expressing his sarcastic admiration for Ji-Cheok and his party, admitting he didn't expect them to make it this far in one piece. Although Ji-Cheok felt disheartened by Yeom Madu's presence, he was taken aback by the sheer number of people behind him. He wondered if other examinees had joined Yeom Madu's party. In silence, Ji-Cheok and the twins locked eyes with Yeom Madu's approaching group, tension thickening the air. Breaking the silence with his egotistical mouth, Yeom Madu commanded Ji-Cheok and the twins to step aside. He arrogantly declared that he would be the one to open the door, despite the potential risks. Ji-Cheok, fueled by his own ego, boldly pushes open the grand doors, unveiling the mysterious boss room. Little did they know what dangers awaited them on the other side. Yeom Madu takes a cautious look around the room, scanning for potential threats. After giving the all-clear, they proceed deeper into the boss's lair. The room is shrouded in darkness, adding an eerie atmosphere that sends a shiver down their spines. Unable to see clearly, a sense of fear creeps over the hunters. Jin Woo, using his sharp intuition, assures them that there are no immediate traps, but urges everyone to stay alert. Ji-Cheok confidently speculates that this room must be the location of their final mission. To light their path, Yeom Madu harnesses his mana and conjures a flame attribute spell, transforming his hand into a torch. The flickering flame provides just enough illumination, and they cautiously navigate the long passage ahead. Suddenly, a booming voice echoes through the room, demanding offerings. Everyone is caught off guard, and to their shock, the door behind them starts to close slowly. In a panic, the examinees scramble, realizing they are trapped. The voice persistently demands the sacrifice of two individuals. A spotlight shines upon a colossal statue at the center of the room. It depicts a menacing figure dressed in red, with wings and sharp horns. The statue comes to life, its blood-red eyes fixated on the startled examinees, who hastily prepare for battle. Ji-Cheok and the twins hang back for now, observing the demon's behavior. Surprisingly, Ji-Cheok senses no malevolence emanating from the creature. He notices the demon repeatedly muttering its demand for two offerings. Group distances themselves from the demon, strategizing and pondering the situation. Yeom Madu's cousin astutely observes that the demon remains stationary, merely repeating its request. Contemplating the peculiar circumstances, Ji-Cheok bravely volunteers to investigate the demon up close. Even the usually egotistical Yeom Madu acknowledges Ji-Cheok's fearlessness. Slowly and cautiously, Ji-Cheok approaches the demon, reaching the base of its pedestal. He wonders why the demon remains motionless, fixated on its demand. His eyes catch two spikes erected before the pedestal, with carvings designed to allow blood flow. A sudden realization dawns upon Ji-Cheok. He calls everyone's attention, revealing that the demon, for now, won't attack. However, its repeated muttering signifies a grisly demand. Two people must impale themselves on the spikes and become sacrifices. Shock and fury ripple through the group as they curse the government for subjecting them to such a twisted dungeon. Ji-Cheok ponders the unprecedented difficulty of this test. It's one thing for accidents to happen in a dangerous exam, but to be asked to willingly sacrifice themselves is a whole new level. Hunters, like anyone else, value their lives. Desperate pounding on the door amplifies their anxiety. Yeom Madu unleashes a futile barrage of punches, attempting to force the door open, screaming in frustration. This triggers a chain reaction, plunging everyone into despair and panic. Ji-Cheok worries about his fellow examinees, recognizing that their lack of experience makes these situations overwhelming. In a desperate attempt, one of the examinees unsheathes their sword and charges at the immobile demon. However, his attack proves fruitless as his weapon shatters upon contact. The demon's eyes glow ominously, and deadly lasers shoot towards the attacker, instantly claiming his life. The gruesome sight intensifies the already overwhelming fear spreading despair throughout the room. In a desperate plea for their lives, the examinees sprint towards the door, realizing that this demon surpasses any adversary they've encountered thus far. Oh no! Chaos erupted in the boss's room as screams pierced the air. Examinees were left in a state of panic after witnessing one of their own being instantly slain by the menacing demon lurking at the room's center. The room filled with frantic debates about what to do in this dire situation. Voices clashed, some arguing to give in to the demon's demands, while others questioned the sanity of sacrificing themselves voluntarily. Despair and hysteria engulfed some, leaving Jicheok as a mere spectator amidst the chaos. Ideas were thrown around, suggesting ways to determine who should be sacrificed, while others argued passionately about the moral rights of humanity. However, all the internal disputes came to an abrupt halt when a knock sounded on the door. Yeomadu seized the opportunity. Commanding everyone's attention, he proposed a controversial plan, urging them to fight among themselves and sacrifice the losing side. According to him, the stronger hunters deserved to live longer and be more useful than the weaker ones. A sudden realization struck one of the hunters. He enlightened the group, pointing out that the production-type hunters were the weakest, with the lowest dungeon contribution points. Some voices joined in, demanding the production-type hunters reveal themselves and step forward. Pleas for mercy mingled with accusations, as the spotlight turned to the twins in Jinchok's party, branding them as weak and useless. Caught off guard by the statements, the twins stood in astonishment, while Jinwoo stepped forward to defend his sister. Jicheok fretted for their safety, as the other hunters debated the fate of the production-type hunters. Finally, they reached a chilling consensus. The twins would be sacrificed, as they were 2 in number, deemed expendable for the greater good. Yeomadu's grin widened, relishing how the situation unfolded to his advantage. Intrigued by the turn of events and seeking to witness Jicheok's struggle, he harbored curiosity after the humiliation he had dealt to Yeomadu. Jicheok, torn between his disdain for Yeomadu and the examinees targeting the twins, recognized the inherent frailty of humans. Living in fear, everyone yearned to survive as long as they were not the victims. Jicheok gathered his wits, desperately vying for everyone's attention, attempting to align their thoughts before they resorted to becoming murderers. He emphasized that sacrificing innocent lives would condemn all 18 of them as murderers. Instead, he proposed unity and cooperation, stressing that together they could conquer any dungeon. Initially met with silence, his words slowly resonated one by one. The hesitant voices aligned with Jicheok's plea. Still, doubts lingered, as the examinees couldn't guarantee a future without victims. Jicheok's resolve strengthened as he assured them that alternative paths to survival would be sought should such a scenario arise. Taking the lead, he pledged to be the sacrifice if needed, asking if that was sufficient to earn their trust. The room filled with vibrant discussions and debates among the examinees, as Jinchuk carefully ensured they didn't lose their reason, eventually formulating a plan. Amidst the conversations, Jicheok received notifications from individuals who found solace in his words, standing encouraged. Jin-ah, noticing the shift in atmosphere, commended Jicheok for dissipating the hostility in their fellow examinees' eyes. He humbly acknowledged that it was only the beginning. Moments later, witnessing Jicheok's newfound confidence, the examinees began to regain their composure, prepare to overcome the imminent crisis. Another notification arrived, signaling that Jicheok had fully mastered the skill Eyes of Observation, evolving it into a more potent skill named Eyes of Insight. This enhanced ability allowed him to assess objects in greater detail and view select monster statuses. Jicheok inferred that his mastery of the skill was likely due to the murals and paintings he had encountered along the way. Curious, he tested his newly evolved skill on the demon at the room's center, revealing its true nature as a greater demon with the water attribute. However, its level and weakness remained hidden. The demon awaited evolution, seeking 2 awakeners as sacrifices to transform into a formidable baron of demons on a grand scale. Jicheok seized the attention of the test takers, sharing the information he had just gathered. They learned that the demon was vulnerable to wood and lightning attribute attacks. Seizing the opportunity, Jin-ah utilized her blacksmith skills to enhance Jicheok's weapons, bestowing them with temporary buffs that would last an hour. With Jicheok leading the charge, the group launched their assault on the greater demon, summoning a low-ranking spirit of darkness to aid their attack, marking the beginning of their courageous battle. Jicheok, our fearless protagonist, unveils his astonishing powers by summoning the mighty Black Dragon of Darkness Spirit. A captivating chant, he captures everyone's attention and leaves them in awe of his abilities. He reveals that a defensive ray of light will shoot from his eyes in response to the demon's attack. As the demon charges towards Jicheok, he cunningly plans to unleash the bottled-up darkness from his secondary school days. The summoned, low-ranking spirit of darkness swiftly curses the demon's eyes, Catching the greater demon off guard, futile attempt to break free from the binding darkness. The demon resorts to blasting it with laser eyes, but the struggle continues. The examinees stand astonished, witnessing the incredible effect of Jicheok's ability. His gamble pays off, as he had observed the greater demon's weaknesses during their initial encounter. Jicheok noticed the demon's low magic resistance, but high physical attack resistance when he blocked and shattered the sword. The display of the demon's powerful magic attacks confirmed its high magic attack power. Jicheok's understanding of equilibrium in dungeons proves invaluable, as no boss monster can exist without weaknesses. With a mighty leap and a graceful descent, the greater demon positions itself in front of its pedestal. The examinees gather, forming their formations and preparing to launch a coordinated attack. They utilize skills imbued with either wood or lightning attributes, fully aware that the monsters within a dungeon provide a clue to its level. They believe that dungeons are meticulously balanced by administrators, eliminating any notion of natural occurrence. The greater demon swings its flailing arms, attempting to strike the examinees while menacingly taunting them. In a moment of peril, Jicheok's swift blade blocks an almost fatal blow, narrowly saving a fellow hunter. Mocking the greater demon's sluggishness in shooting the beam of light, Jicheok taunts the creature, unknowingly challenging his own dungeon balance theory. The demon recognizes Jicheok as the one who stole its vision, allowing Jicheok to taunt it further, regretting its inability to kill him with the laser beam. Jicheok takes on the crucial task of diverting the greater demon's attention, enabling the other examinees to strike its vulnerable back. He lures the demon into a chase, leading it towards the room's end, where it slams its face against the door. The greater demon, impressed by Jicheok's skills and tactics, retaliates with a flurry of slashes. Jicheok skillfully dodges the attacks, but he knows he can't evade forever, and the other examinees can't keep up with the demon's speed. In a daring move, Jicheok evades a punch and steps on the greater demon's shadow, triggering his Shadow Steel skill. The skill reduces the demon's movement speed and defense, while granting Jicheok stolen agility. This grants the examinees an advantage, while the greater demon experiences the effects of Jicheok's maneuver. The room trembles with mana. The examinees unleash a barrage of spells infused with various attributes, resulting in explosive impacts. They pour their all into damaging the greater demon, encouraged by Jicheok's rallying cry. The tough exterior of the demon begins to crack under the relentless assault, but this only fuels the creature's arrogance, leading it to taunt the examinees. Breaking through the onslaught, the greater demon catches Jicheok off guard, putting everyone in imminent danger. It effortlessly soars through walls of flames, magic, and mana, catching some of the examinees off guard. However, a shout pierces through the chaos, drawing everyone's attention to a man wearing a pair of striking red boots. Madu, fueled by his determination and an immense amount of mana, focuses his energy on the palms of his hands. Igniting the gathered mana with the flame attribute, a chaotic inferno blazes to life. Asserting his role as the one to deliver the final blow to the greater demon, Madu assumes his battle stance. In a fiery spectacle, Madu unleashes his ultimate firepower, launching fireballs at the greater demon with fierce determination. With each explosive impact, the room is ablaze, filling the air with flames and embers. The greater demon, caught in the midst of the chaos, tries to defend itself but fails miserably. It staggers, dropping to its knees as Madu taunts it, inching closer with fists wrapped in fiery flames. Yet, to Madu's frustration, the greater demon effortlessly evades his relentless attacks. The demon, mocking Madu's combat skills, dances around him, further fueling his annoyance. Oblivious to the demon's sneaky move, Madu finds himself airborne, propelled by a surprise backflip from the greater demon. He crashes against the boss room's walls, leaving everyone stunned. Suddenly, Madu's cousin rushes to his aid, pleading for assistance. After assessing Madu's condition, he assures everyone that he's all right. Jicheok questions Madu's decision to confront a stronger opponent without evasive skills, raising doubts about his cousin's judgment. Amidst the tension, the greater demon chuckles ominously, acknowledging the examinee's relentless efforts to annoy it. However, one keen-eyed examinee notices something intriguing on the demon's back. A vulnerable spot, exposed beneath its wings, gives them hope that their attacks might be taking effect. As they focus on this weak point, a shining object catches their attention, a large, mysterious bead concealed within the demon's body. Jicheok recognizes the significance of the bead, recalling the proctor's initial instructions. If the crystal ball serving as the dungeon's core is destroyed, the test will come to an end. As the greater demon grows increasingly furious, threatening the examinees with death, a strange liquid begins to flow from its back. It erupts like a fountain or a garden hose, targeting the examinees with deadly venom. With their lives at stake, The examinees muster every ounce of agility to dodge the venomous onslaught. Aware of the gravity of the situation, Jicheok devises a daring plan to defeat the greater demon. He unveils a bottle containing Lizardman's Berserker pills, a risky choice that trades stamina for heightened stats, potentially resulting in death if consumed in excess. Left with no other option, Jicheok pops the pill into his mouth, triggering a countdown. In a surge of energy, Jicheok's eyes turn red, and his stats receive a staggering 200% boost, albeit at the cost of rapidly depleting stamina. The timer ticking down, he opens a YouTube window, channeling all his remaining likes into his strength. As his likes are consumed, his strength stat skyrockets to a B rank. With the Berserker pill's effect, he temporarily reaches S rank status. Mana surges through Jicheok's body, muscles expanding and hardening. The power courses within him. He can also feel his life force ebbing away at an alarming rate, just as the greater demon unleashes another venomous assault. Challenging the examinees to press on, Jicheok seizes the opportunity. With a burst of berserk energy, he charges towards the surprised demon. Time is ticking away, and Jicheok dashes with lightning speed towards the menacing greater demon, sending it flying meters away. Fearless warrior, he propels himself through the air, his twin blades gleaming as he plunges one deep into the demon's chest. With less than 20 seconds left to survive, he knows he must finish off the demon swiftly. To his surprise, the greater demon is taken aback by Jicheok's sudden surge of strength. Determined to defeat his formidable foe, Jicheok tears off the demon's wings and cracks open its hard crimson shell, revealing a tantalizingly large bead within. With his blade raised high, Jicheok strikes the bead that remains stubbornly intact. Time is running out, and he grows increasingly desperate with each futile blow. And when one of his twin blades shatters against the unyielding bead, Jicheok doesn't relent, striking with all his might, hoping for a breakthrough. Finally, a crack forms at the center of the bead. Jicheok seizes the opportunity without hesitation. Using his broken blades, he relentlessly stabs at the crack, knowing he has only moments left. As the timer expires, the bead shatters partially, releasing an explosive burst of mana and energy. Jicheok is flung into the air, his consciousness fading as he crash lands on the ground. As the completion notifications flood in, signaling the victorious end of the dungeon, Jicheok emerges as the undisputed champion with an impressive score of 24671 points. The hidden quest has been conquered, and anticipation builds as the system determines its rewarding outcome. In awe, his fellow adventurers stare at their system windows, finally expressing their heartfelt gratitude to Jicheok, who rushes to their aid. Before he can rest, a mischievous thought crosses his mind. How many likes will his body camera recording receive? Just as the idea lingers, a notification pops up announcing the completion of the system version 2.0 update. Closing his eyes, Jicheok gazes up at the starry sky, feeling a sense of ethereal presence watching over him. The gods themselves have taken notice. Outside the dungeon gate, a crowd of reporters, hunters, and curious bystanders gathers, yearning to learn the fate of the trapped examinees. Meanwhile, in a separate area near the gate, Yunrumi of the Politics and Military Division finds herself annoyed by the nosy reporters. As she contemplates the rescue team's readiness, her subordinate reveals the startling information. The energy released from the dungeon's rivals that of a B-rank dungeon, and the gate will soon reappear. Yunrumi can hardly fathom the turn of events. This dungeon was chosen as a test due to its supposed low difficulty, yet now lives hang in the balance. She had meticulously prepared safety measures, but if the dungeon suddenly escalates to B rank, it could spell disaster. Concern for the trapped examinees consumes her thoughts, leaving her unaware of approaching footsteps. A hand lands on Yunrumi's shoulder, jolting her attention. She turns to find a familiar face, the mechanical genius, Biga Jong. With a lollipop in her mouth and mischievous smirk, Biga offers a sweet treat to her junior. What will happen next? Find out next time by staying tuned for our future recaps. Don't forget to like and subscribe for more great recaps.